Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. It is August 1st and the first, yes, first day with the new tongue. And today's going to be a little different because I literally just shook off a stunningly intense nightmare. And I'm coming on to do a live about what to do when your brain hates you. So I'm going to start with giving you what the solution was to my thing today and then tell you the story. And then we're going to loop back to the solution. You're going to see like how how simple it is and how what things you might be able to do. So it's now 10:27 a.m. Eastern. At 9:30, I woke up from a nap in the full and complete throes of, oh my God, my life is over. I'm just in this horrible, we've had this horrible fight. My marriage is ending, blah, 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 blah. I've been married to David for 21 years. This is not the first time he's had to talk me down from a bad dream like this. So he comes in and he recognizes what's going on and he sits next to me and he takes my hand and he waits while I talk through it. And I have to talk all the way through it multiple times in order to get reoriented to the fact that that didn't just actually happen. And I was like, "Oh my God, why did that that's my brain hates me. Why does my brain hate me? Ah," and talk through it, and he's just listening. And then when I get to the point where I start leveling down, he goes, "Okay, so what are you gonna do now?" And I said, "I'm gonna get up and make coffee, and I'm gonna go put on makeup and curl my hair." And he said, "That's a good idea. Why don't you do that?" So I get up and did that. So here's what that was. I have been stressing some really big things that are moving at work, and they're positive stresses, don't get me wrong. Um, I have some really big irons in the fire, and it's kind of freaking me out. And so that has been sitting in the back of my brain. Now, if you are like me, you might be one of the people for whom brain chemistry requires a little additional support. So I take medication for being able to manage some anxiety and depression. And as happens with people like me, when things are going really well, I've been eating well, I've been going to the gym, I've been doing all these things. I sometimes forget to be really diligent about taking my medication. And hence, my brain then sees an opportunity to mess with my day. So I got up at 6 this morning, got Brendan over to his thing for 6:30, came back, was laying on the couch going, "I'm really tired. I kind of wish I could go back to bed." And David came down and said, "Go ahead, go back to bed. You got time." So I crashed. And the stress in my head played out that for whatever reason, David and I were having a hellaciously bad fight. It was an earth-shattering, we've never had in our marriage ever fight. It's the one that happens in dreams. And we were done. Everything was over. I was utterly devastated. And I woke up to David sitting next to me because I had just basically woken up and been like, "What the fuck?" And he comes in and is like, "Okay, it's one of these." Sits next to me, takes my hand. And I'm like, "Wait, we didn't just fight, did we?" And he's like, "No, we didn't." I'm like, "Okay." Because I dreamt I walked downstairs mad and now I'm in bed. So, okay. And to explain, I have extremely vivid dreams, very realistic dreams, like reality shifting, 100% pure belief dreams. And it takes me a little bit to shake them if they're like that. So eventually he said, "Any chance you slipped on your medication?" And I was like, "No, oh, wait. Yeah, I did." He's like, "Okay." And then he let me talk through it. And then we get down to the end of it. And it's, I'll go downstairs, make coffee, curl my hair, put on makeup. Because we've been together for 23 years, and because this isn't his first rodeo, we have come to this pattern of understanding how to disconnect the negative self-talk that happens. And in my case, sneaks up on me in my dreams and really jumps really hard if I'm not 100% diligent about all the things like the medication I'm supposed to be taking and eating well and going to the gym and getting enough sleep, like these things. Some people have the mean girl in high school. I have the mean girl in high school that lives in the back of my head. Her name is Becky. That's a story for a different time. But the reason I wanted to come on and talk about it today is because I have promised myself and also some of the people in my life that I'm going to be 100% me in my business. And this is something that happens to some of us. It might happen to you, it might happen to your friends or neighbors. And one of the best things you can do is if you have these spirals of negative self-talk or, like your brain chemistry trying its best to sabotage you because, well, in my case, Becky has taken up residence. So there's ways to be able to step out of that and just disconnect it. Please understand that right now, that was an hour ago. I still feel like my body feels hungover. I actually feel emotionally. I feel the intensity of it because I have emotions only dogs can hear. Thank you, Nancy. It's true. And that's just something it's like, okay, how do I deal with this? So if this happens to you, it took me a long time to stop beating myself up about the fact that this is who I am and figure out instead how to just step forward and work on things. So it doesn't have to be elaborate. It doesn't have to be this big thing. It doesn't even have to be dramatic. It can be as simple as, what are you going to do next? I'm going to go make coffee. Okay, good. What are you going to do after that? I'm going to curl my hair and put on makeup. Good. Okay. Why don't you do that? All right. And then I have something to do while I'm letting my system recognize that what happened didn't happen, even though it feels like it did. My heart was pounding and my adrenaline rushes. When I wake up, I am 100% fully in that experience. Okay. I do not suffer from a lack of imagination. So if you are somebody who finds that you have these things that trip you up, sometimes the way to get back on track is as simple as just getting into a new place, taking a drive, going outside, taking the dog for a walk. It doesn't have to be a big thing, and it doesn't have to be something you plot out and think about, well, will this be enough? Just do a thing and then do the thing after that. Because all of us have our own way of approaching the world. We all have our own realities we make. We all have our own ways of looking at stuff. I'm very lucky. Like I'm on the cusp of having my new business transform and have some really big things happen. And I'm a little freaked out about it, but it's also good because I have very big plans for what my company's going to be and what it's going to mean for the people that are in my orbit and the people I've hired. And I have plots and plans. So I need to be on that big journey. And if you're somebody like me that occasionally gets derailed, find some strategies, find some people to work with you on it. Okay. You might have the mean kid from high school living in your head. It's okay. You can tell them to take all the seats and shut the hell up. It'll work, I promise. So this is me bringing that today because I thought if I was going through this, maybe somebody else in my orbit is too. So here you go. Hope it helps. Happy Tuesday, everybody.